betray, if you want, this kind of rules. As to the transparency between, say, the Commission and the Parliament, we have strictly followed the rules agreed so far. I know there are new rules being negotiated, and I will not go into that, obviously. But one thing that I want to make clear, because I've heard, I think it was Mrs. Weert saying that lobbyists have documents which I don't know where they would come from, but certainly not from the Commission. We do not share any document with any lobbyist. That is very clear. There were several questions on the Internet, and I can only repeat that, well, the general principle is that we approach this negotiation, of course, in the full respect of the acquis communautaire. So what is not in the acquis communautaire will not be in the EU position. And so, for instance, the generalization of termination procedures such as three-strike rules will certainly not be in the EU position. I should add as well, because there was a question on the border controls from Mr. Schleiter, that how can we be sure that the border control will not apply to individuals on large scale? Well, simply because, as what I've said of the acquis, we have de minimis exceptions in our own legislation, in our own regulation 1383, and of course we will abide by that. There were questions on criminal sanctions, which is true, is less to say the least harmonized matter in terms of intellectual property, and this is why on this aspect the presidency is negotiating these provisions, and I can guarantee you that they will certainly not go beyond the acquis again. So I can only conclude by saying that I can also not agree that we have not informed the European Parliament. We have informed this very committee in 2009 on 31st August, 14 September, 9th November, 7th December. And the Czech presidency has done equally an information on 20 January. But we are being asked things which do not exist yet, because we were told that we only give sketches, but there is no treaty, so we cannot give what is not existing simply. And again, we can be sure that we certainly are not going to go beyond any acquis communautaire here, and certainly not address fundamental rights issues. Thank you.
Schlitter, please, be brief.
Yeah, but I made several concrete questions, and you didn't answer one single of them. In the EU position, will you argue in favor of may exclude individuals transferring a border, or shall exclude? Simple question, may or shall. The second question was, will it, according to this, be criminal punishment, including prison sentence, which is beyond communitaire, because not all countries does have a criminal enforcement penalty with prison for somebody filming a film in a cinema? Yes or no? Is it part of the agreement? Yes or no? And also, on the, if I have a technical tool circumventing technological measures to protect something, disputing that, will that be illegal with criminal enforcement? Yes or no? Is that part of the agreement? Yes or no?
Thank you.
I don't care about if it is beyond communitaire or not. Is it yes or no in the agreement?
Tarja Kasperi.
Ich möchte auch meinem Vorredner beipflichten, die
Yes. I agree with the previous speaker. The answers from the Commission were rather thin, and I think there was an unsatisfactory level of answer there. Can I ask, to what extent the 7 member states that attended the negotiations involved in the negotiations? Were they actually seated at the negotiating table? And can the Commission give us the reassurance that the Parliament won't be disadvantaged in future in such negotiations?
Thank you. And it's a very brief point. We understand in negotiations there's always a level of not revealing your cards in negotiations. But I think we would like to know, first of all, answers to Carl's questions, but also the level of principles. What principles are the EU adopting in these negotiations? In principle, are we in favour of criminal sanctions or not? in principle, a number of these issues. All we're asking is what can be revealed and more transparency. Thank you.
I give the floor again to the representative of the Commission. Could you go further to meet the answer the questions that have been put forward?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I thought I had been clear, but obviously I was not when I said that we don't go beyond the acquis. So, Mr. Schletter, if you know the acquis, you know the answer to your question. Is the border exemption, in border measures, is the exemption for de minimis compulsory in our regulation? Yes, it is. So it is not may, it is shall, of course. But that's the EU position. I cannot, of course, comment on the others parties' position or on the final content of the agreement. There was a question from Mr. Caspary whether the member states who attend the negotiations are present at the negotiating table. No. The answer is no, they are not at the table. And as to the question of what will be the role of the Parliament, this I leave to the overall negotiations which are ongoing and which are definitely beyond my proverbial pay grade.
But what are the member states doing along with the Commission there?
They attend.
Okay, thank you. This concludes. I'm sure that we'll come back to this issue later on and we'll have more opportunities to ask David Martin.
Sorry, I don't want to prolong it, but I also asked a very specific question. That is, will the Commission add their voice to the ACTA partners who are already calling for the release of the draft text? Because I know some Member States support it, but I understand at the moment the Commission is not supportive of releasing the draft text.
Any comment to this question? To release the draft text?
It is being discussed with the Member States, and as a point of information, there's so far not been a request by the other parties also to do so. And again, it cannot be done by consensus. But it is, for the EU position, it is certainly being discussed with the Member States. And as you've said, several Member States have expressed their
Sorry, I can't go on.
Thank you.
Please, we'll have further opportunities to come back to this issue. Please, let's close this item because we have our in-camera meeting waiting for us and we are late already. So sorry. Please, I can't give you the floor again. So this ends the public...
it's a question, motion of order, actually.
Please.
It's a motion of order.
Okay.
For the next time, I would like to invite the Commissioner himself, because one of the statements here I heard today is totally in conflict with the information I got from the Commission. The information I got here, one of the things he said today is not the same as I got earlier from the... So there's a conflict between the Commissioner and his staff, and I would like us to figure out what is the truth here.
Okay, your request is on record, and the coordinators will address it in next meeting. This is the end of the public meeting today. We'll resume our public proceedings at 3:00 p.m. and we'll continue in camera. So I ask all the members, all the persons that are present, to leave the floor as soon as possible.